Welcome to Rising from the Rubble, the podcast where we share real life stories of people who have faced life-changing events like burnout, redundancy, and depression, and found a way to rise stronger than before. I'm your host, Newman, and as a coach, I help individuals navigate life's toughest transitions. Whilst listening to this podcast, you'll hear inspiring stories and coaching insights that will empower you to reclaim your confidence, redefine your future, and rise from your own rubble. It's now time to sit back, relax, and enjoy listening to our episode. I have actually failed. I've taken on something that was too big for me. People said it was too much, and yet what did I do? I said yes. They're going to fire me. I'm going to lose my job. Why would I let this happen? Why didn't I do something sooner? This is awful. What are they going to think of me? These were just some of the things I was saying to myself on that evening where everything just came to a head. You see, I was the project manager of a highly technical engineering project. And there was me having a lot of experience and qualifications in project management and yet having zero expertise in engineering. And I decided to step up to what was a very big job. And during that week that built up to that moment, things just seemed to be going wrong. Manufacturing just wasn't working. We were becoming later and later and later. And I could just feel the burden on my shoulders. How was I going to recover the situation? How was I going to take action so that we would not be as late, not be as incurring lots of cost? And the thoughts were just spiraling. I was feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling out of my depth. I was feeling alone. And that moment happened when I went to sleep, when I was trying to get to sleep. And you won't be surprised to hear that I didn't get any sleep. I tossed and turned all night trying to work my way through what I was going to do, how I was going to recover the situation, because I was convinced that I would be looked at as the person to come and save the day. I can feel now the emotions that I felt on that very evening. So what did I do? Well, I did the only thing I knew what I should do in the moment when I was feeling really, really stressed. In the morning, I rang my mum. Not because my mum has been in the corporate world and she knew what to do. I rang my mum because she has a superpower, and her superpower is being able to see through all the nonsense and just get to the point. And I rang my mum because I just needed to unload, and I needed someone to tell me it was going to be okay. So my first course of action was to call someone who I knew that I could talk to openly and honestly, and that wouldn't judge me and would just listen to what I had to say. And then, if asked, would offer me some words of wisdom. So if you find yourself in that position where the world seems against you, you cannot see the wood from the trees, you are feeling overwhelmed, you are feeling stressed, you are feeling like you need somebody just to hear you speak so that you can unload, then please find that person, identify them now, so that in those times where it just seems like you cannot find the answers, you know there is one person who you can call at any time just to say, life is really tough right now. Life is not how I expected it to be. I just need someone to listen whilst I explain how I am feeling and how I am seeing life right at this moment. In my moment of complete overwhelm and complete stress, the second thing I did after having unloaded and now being able to see the wood from the trees was to ask for some help, because actually it wasn't all up to me to recover the situation. And it's okay to say, I don't know what to do next. I need help. So that very morning, having had a really rough night's sleep and having felt like I'd failed and I was going to be fired, and what was I doing? And I thought I'd completely screwed up the situation. I walked in to HR and I asked for some advice. I found they were called a HR business partner back then. I found my HR business partner and I had an honest and frank conversation to say, I don't know what to do next. I feel like I am in over my head and I need some advice. And again, I advise you, if you are feeling stressed and overwhelmed, please ask for help. Find again that person who can help you move forward, or find the thing that you need to do which allows you to feel like you are being helped. So I sat down with the HR business partner and they offered me advice. Very simple. And also they reassured me that what I had done, which actually I hadn't done anything, wasn't a sackable offence. Some things had not gone quite right. And actually, why would they have gone according to plan? I was leading a highly technical engineering project, which I know. Some of you are listening to this and going, Maria, that's a really boring subject. We're not interested in your engineering project. And fair enough, you don't have to be interested in the project. The point I am trying to make is that I was dealing with something that was really complex and really difficult. And life sometimes doesn't go according to plan. And that doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater. What that means is you accept responsibility for your part in it, and then you come up with a plan on how you can deal with it. And in that situation, all I needed to do was talk to somebody who could help me to see the way as to what the next course of action should be. So, having talked through my stresses, my worries, my concerns about what had happened, I was then pointed in the direction of the senior member of the team who could actually help me move forward. Because not only was I concerned that I was going to cause an issue for the organization, I was also concerned that I was going to cause an issue for our customer, who just so happens to be, at that time, the UK military. I know you weren't interested, and now that might have sparked your interest. So I went to see the senior member of the team, and fortunately for me, he was an amazing individual and he could see what I was battling with. He could see that I was highly stressed, and that, do you know what? At that moment in time, what I needed and what was best for me was to temporarily take a step back, to remove myself from the situation so that I could recharge my batteries and actually come back fully energized and able to then lead the team to success. And that's what I did. He gave me a leave of absence for only a couple of days because I only needed a couple of days. And that allowed me to shake off all the stress, the anxiety, the worry, the negative thoughts that had been building up over what felt like forever. And reality had only been a week. And with my time off, my 2 days, I was kind to myself. I tried to focus on me. I gave myself some time. I allowed myself grace so that I could refill my cup. I slept because obviously I'd lost a lot of sleep. So I needed to sleep. And I just rested. So that was the third thing I did. I was able to take a step back, to take myself out of the situation in order to allow myself the space and time to be able to view it from an outsider's perspective instead of being so in it that I really couldn't see the wood from the trees. And what did my moment of stress teach me? Well, it taught me that I needed more self-awareness. And yes, that's easy to say, and we probably hear it a lot that you need to be self-aware. However, when it comes to stress, the best thing you can do for yourself is to know when you are on that slope, when you are about to hit that downward spiral, so that you can put in place actions to help you and to reduce the likelihood that you are actually going to go down that spiral. And that is knowing what starts to trigger your stress levels. What is it that means that you start to go down that negative spiral? And for me, I know, having been through stressful events a number of times in my life, it's when I start to isolate myself and think that I have to take on everything and I have to manage everything. That's when my stress triggers start to happen. It's when I feel alone. It's when I feel that I am the only one that can overcome this situation. It's when I put all that pressure on myself to go and sort out the problem, to be the problem solver, to be the one in charge, to be the one that can save the day. And I've noticed this not only in my professional career, but also in my personal life. So, when I notice that I am taking on too much, that I am taking all of the responsibility for making things right, I know that that is my opportunity, my moment, my red flag to stop, to pause, to acknowledge that I have a choice. I can either continue with the same habit that will take me to a place that I really don't want to go, or I can choose to take a different action that will be more helpful to not just myself, but also to those who are around me. And then finally, having been through a number of situations which have led me to react, respond to stressful events in a way that really is not good for me, I now have things that I can do for myself to help lessen the impact of stressful events. Because having some stress in your life isn't a problem as long as you can manage it. However, as human beings, we are not built to be in stress mode 24/7. Being in stress is just a momentary thing. And the longer that we are in stress, the worse it is for our health as well as how we view life. So I have learnt to do things for myself on a regular basis to lessen the stress that I feel. And this comes in a number of forms. I know that I enjoy exercising. Exercising means that I can remove myself from situations and I can think more clearly. Every night, I have a pad and pencil that I can write my thoughts down if I'm feeling particularly happy and I want to remember something, or if there's something that stressed me during the day and I just want a way of getting it down on a piece of paper so that I can actually understand what has happened and how I've responded to it. I also practice gratitude listing. So every night I will note down at least 3 things that I have enjoyed during the day. I also know that if I'm feeling like that stress is about to be triggered, there are people who I can talk to, who I can just say, do you know what? I'm not feeling 100% comfortable at the moment. I'm feeling slightly overwhelmed. And I'm feeling like I might start to get stressed. This is my problem. This is what I've done about it. And at this moment in time, it still doesn't feel like it's all clear. Please help me. So, if you are finding yourself in a situation where you feel like you're alone, you're feeling overwhelmed, and you're feeling the pressure and the stress of life is starting to get to you, I offer you these 5 tips to help you to see your way through so that 1, you show yourself some compassion and you lessen the effect of the stress, and 2, you are better prepared to deal with the curveballs that life may throw your way. The first one is, please identify that person or people that you know you can talk to in those moments where life just does not feel how it should. Whether you're feeling stressed, you're feeling overwhelmed, or something has happened to you and you just need to get it off your chest. Remember, there are people around you who will listen, who will want to allow you to unload. So make sure you have that person in mind or those people in mind so that when life is not what you quite expected it to be, you know who you can call. The second thing I want you to acknowledge is you can ask for help. It's not a weakness. It just means you can't quite do this thing by yourself, and that is okay. We are only human. Asking for help is something that we need to become more comfortable doing. Asking for help means that you are not alone and that you can move forward. And it's okay to have people help you move forward. So I encourage you in those moments where life feels difficult and hard to allow yourself the grace to ask for help. And my third tip is, when you're in those moments where, oh my word, it's just feeling heavy and difficult and like there is no way out, please give yourself the opportunity to temporarily step out of the situation, to become an observer as opposed to an actor in whatever is going on. Because when you become an observer of the situation, you can see it from different perspectives. You can see things that are not obvious when you are actually in the situation you are currently facing. So give yourself the grace and allow yourself to temporarily step outside of the situation so that you can see more clearly what is actually going on. The fourth thing I would like you to do is to become more self-aware as to what triggers you. What is it that makes you feel overwhelmed? What is it that makes you feel that stress gauge get higher and higher and higher. Notice the actions that you take, the way you feel, the things that happen, because there will be a pattern and only you can identify what that pattern is. And once you've identified that pattern, it means you are then better able to do something about it. And my fifth action for you is to be kind to yourself from now. To identify the habits that you need to put in place to ensure that you are mentally strong and physically strong, so that when life throws you a curveball, because we all know it probably will happen, you are already nurturing those habits that mean you have a strong foundation, a strong core in yourself, and you also are strong enough, confident enough, energized enough to be able to face those challenges. And that's what I have to say to you about when life throws you a curveball, when you are feeling stressed, when you don't know what to do. Those are my 5 actions for you to consider doing to help you move forward. Take care, everyone. Thank you for listening to Rising from the Rubble. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Also, remember to download your free life assessment. Just click the link in the description to get started. Take care, and remember, every setback is an opportunity for growth. I'll see you next time.